We're talking Lakers, Warriors playing. We're talking Westbrook and him breaking Oscar Robertson's record. Also, Kawhi Leonard's new album. Yes, Kawhi Leonard's new albums. That's what I said. Georgia's new law for college athletes and the new rules that are coming out of the Tokyo Olympics.
I've been waiting for an album or a mixtape from Kawhi for so long.
Said no one ever. This is another episode of the Backstage Sports Podcast. I'm Joe Connor.
I am JT Harker.
And we are back. We had a little hiatus to handle some business, rework some stuff. You'll see some new stuff from us coming at you within the next couple of weeks. But we are here. Off the top rope is Timothy Parker from Spectrum Sportsnet. What's up, Tim?
How you guys doing, bro?
Good. How you doing, bro?
I'm good.
Okay, so we already got the pleasantries and the warm-ups, and we're gonna hop straight in to not waste anybody's time. We're talking about the Lakers and Warriors and them being the possible situation for a play-in in the play-in tournament, the possible first matchup for the Lakers in the play-in. How do you guys feel about the possibility of a Lakers Warriors play-in situation? And what do you think the possible outcome can be? We'll talk about the play-in and how that's structured, and I'll pull up the graphic while you're answering that.
All right, well, I'll say this. In my opinion, it doesn't matter if the Lakers play the Warriors because those two teams, they're going to win one of those two games. They're like whoever doesn't win that first game will win the second game, in my opinion. So if Steph goes off in the 7-8 game for like 60 and the Warriors advance, there's no way the Lakers are going to lose to the 9-10 team.
Yeah.
So I think whoever wins, they'll be fine. Although I would say the Warriors would be more in danger to lose two in a row as opposed to the Lakers.
The Lakers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I agree with.
Yeah.
And I see a lot of people freaking out about the Lakers being in this play-in tournament, right? And the phrase that seems to pay for everybody's favorite phrase in this whole situation is the Lakers could possibly lose in the play-in, right? As if when you play a basketball game, there's not one of two outcomes possible for every game that you play. You can possibly win the game. You can also possibly lose the game. This can be said about any basketball game ever played in the history of the sport, right? So I don't know why everybody's getting their rocks off saying the Lakers are going to play in the playoff. They could possibly lose. They can possibly lose every game ever played, right? So to me, it's like telling me that water is wet. I really don't. That doesn't really like rile me up or burn me up or anything like that. My thing is about the seeding. And at this point, I want to be in the play-in at this point because the Lakers are not healthy. What I don't want to do is go in as the 6th seed and then get the Clippers in the first round, which is what we're looking at the graphic now, and that's as the playoffs would be currently constructed, as it would be currently constructed if the playoffs started today. The Clippers would be the 3 seed. If the Lakers were the 6th seed, which Portland is right now, that's would be their first round matchup. That's not a good matchup coming in hobble with both of your superstars coming off of injuries, your best player just coming back a couple games before, getting your feet wet and kind of getting your legs under you. That's not what you want to do against maybe the best team or first or second best team in the conference, right? So I'm actually down for the play-in tournament. The play-in tournament is not freaking me out. I would much rather get Utah or Phoenix in the first round. So even if we lose against the Warriors, I'm still down to be the 8th seed.
Well then, okay, it comes down to this. So like, would you rather have LeBron and AD and a shooter get an extra week of rest for the playoffs, or have that? I think that's the question. Are
Oh,
you,
the
are you
week.
more,
I don't care about a week of rest only to go home in the first round. Because if the Lakers as they currently are health status wise right now were to play the Clippers in the first round of the playoffs, they would lose. They would absolutely lose.
But if you have a week
I
of
don't
rest, but if you have a week of rest, you're healthier. You're much healthier than you
Oh,
are.
this is the way that these type of lingering injuries and whatnot. Those things are not going to be resolved in just taking a week off, because you've had LeBron was out, came back,
Yeah, okay.
and then went out again because he didn't have enough time. So that's going to take some time. And so I'd rather be able to, like, not have to play him as many minutes, maybe give him a game off here or there. You know what I'm saying? We just played the Suns last night and dubbed them without Schroeder, without LeBron, without Kyle Kuzma. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
So I'm much more confident in having a first round series against the Suns and giving times off and having guys be hurt and sitting guys out than I would be when everybody's like kind of gimpy, kind of healthy, playing maybe the best team, and the healthiest team in the conference right now. You know what I mean?
Then to me, the Lakers better take care. I think JT's back, by the way. I think Lakers better take care of business in that first playing game, because now.
Yeah, but that's not. That don't. I mean, you got to beat the Warriors. I mean.
But you might. But like again, that's the issue.
You just have to win. That's it. Like that's it. You just win the game.
But if you're not in the playing game, you wouldn't hurry up. You wouldn't have to worry about winning one game. You can say, "Oh, we lost game one. Steph went off, and then I got 6 more games to go."
Let's get JT in here. Can you hear JT?
With the Lakers, the concern to me isn't. I mean, obviously, it's not favorable to be in a play-in as opposed to just being in. But the problem to me, and the scary thing as a Lakers fan, is not the play-in. The scary thing is just their health. Like we talked about.
That's my point.
They just need to be healthy. Now, the play-in is not the best situation, but barring Steph going off, which they can probably at least somewhat contain, they just need to be healthy. Because if they're healthy, they can beat anybody. But the problem is, if LeBron's 50% or if Anthony Davis is 60%, 70%, I think they're going to lose. I don't think they can win like that. I think they need LeBron 80%, and they need Anthony Davis 80%, and everybody else firing on all cylinders. It's tough this year, man. I think Denver is ready to go. I think the Jazz and the Suns.
Without Jamal Murray?
No. So is Jamal out for the remainder?
I don't think he's coming back.
Jamal's not coming back.
Well, if he's not coming back, maybe not. Although Michael Porter Jr. is looking like a beast right now. But probably not without Jamal Murray. But dude, there's 5 or 6 teams that are dangerous right now in the West. West, the new West is like the new East. It's better, but it's kind of up in the air right now.
It's because I don't think they're going to lose 2 games.
Anything can happen in a 1-game scenario, which I get. But it being the 7th seed, which they would be, they're too many games up on. It would have to be a catastrophic.
Even if they're the 8th seed, they're good.
Yeah, right. But I'm saying going in as the 7th seed, which they would go in as. You gotta beat the Warriors. If you lose to the Warriors, then you gotta beat the winner of Memphis San Antonio.
Yeah,
which, that can't scare you. You know what I mean? So I'm not. To me, I think this is the path that I would go as far as like being the Lakers. Like I would be like, okay, let's do it. Let's run with it. You know what I mean? Like I obviously wouldn't tank for the play-in. But I'm not freaking out if we go in the play-in and we got to play the Warriors and then we got to play, one of those guys. Because like I said, again, I think that plays out in the Lakers' favor moving forward in the playoffs. Their first round matchup, their second round matchup. I think that plays out much better.
Honestly, I think they might not. I think with after what AD did the other night. Tonight's going to be big.
Yeah,
tonight's going to be big because if they win tonight, if the Lakers win tonight
versus the Knicks,
if they beat the Knicks, then it's easy. And they're going to be. They probably will be the 6th seed because LeBron's coming back for the banner ceremony. If they lose tonight, they're not going to get the 6th seed.
At this point, like I said, I really don't even want the 6th seed. You know what I'm saying? Only because of what it would mean in the first round. I think that's not the first round matchup that you want, especially, you know, getting everybody back and being able to build some, you know, chemistry, shoring up your lineup. Like, I think the first round of the playoffs, we're going to be figuring out a lot, and I don't want to be figuring out a lot versus the Clippers. You know what I mean?
I just think if they win tonight against the Knicks, they're going to be in the 6th seed, and then you got the Clippers. Well, personally, I don't want to.
You still got the Blazers that are, you know, right now the Blazers are 2 games ahead, and the Blazers have been kind of hot. So
the schedule favors, like, after tonight.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
The schedule favors the Lakers after tonight. That's why tonight's critical.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Why did you give Mrs. Dumbler?
But what you say, JT?
Can you hear JT? I don't think so. But yeah, I hear what you're saying. That's you know, for me, again, I wouldn't be, you know, if we ended up in the 6th seed again, you the positive side of that is you do get, you know, the rest and everything like that. But it's just, to me, it's actually the tougher route than the play-in to me, and I think most people are not really realizing that.
Do you think Bron is purposely not coming back tonight?
No, I think he's purposely not coming back to give his ankle an extra day because they have the back-to-back.
Okay.
So I think that it was a strategic thing, but I think it's for the ankle and the back-to-back. Okay, so one of the other things that happened was Russell Westbrook breaking Oscar's record, his record for triple doubles. Big deal or no deal? Is this something that you put a lot of weight on, or is this just like, you know, another personal record for Russell Westbrook? Does it really move the needle for his legacy, for his career, for the story that'll be told for him, for you?
Yeah, you know, I say, and this is just me, obviously, you know, what goes on in current sports culture and opinion is different nowadays than it used to be. But for me, I'm going to tell people this. Everybody that's like, oh, it doesn't mean anything, blah, blah. Look, Oscar Robertson played before most of you little fucks were even fucking born, okay? You have no idea how good that man was, first of all. Second of all, it's taken this long for somebody to break that record. When guys like Jason Kidd, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, who were all triple-double machines, none of them broke this record. For that matter, LeBron James didn't break the record, who's one of the best all-around players, if not the greatest all-around player to ever play the game. It's a big deal. And not only that, the only thing differentiating Oscar Robertson from Russell Westbrook legacy-wise is Oscar Robertson won a championship. One championship. And he won it with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar on his team. In his prime, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, when Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was maybe the greatest player in the world. I personally think it's a huge deal. People are, and you know what? If he'd won one championship in his career, if OKC won that one championship that season they made it to the finals, everybody would think this was a big deal. But because he hasn't won a chip, he doesn't have a ring, most people are going to dismiss it. But I think Russell Westbrook's incredible, and it should just further solidify his legacy, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think it solidifies his legacy, but all that, it really doesn't matter. Like, unless he wins the ring, like we know, we know he's going to the Hall of Fame. This secures the fact that he should be in the Hall of Fame. Like, it's going to be a part of his story. But what's also going to be a part of his NBA story is that he didn't win a chip. If that turns out to what happens, to be what happens, he's one of those guys who never won a championship. But at the same time, Russell Westbrook doesn't even care. Earlier this year, he was like, I'm already as a champion. He's not a guy who doesn't try to win, because obviously he's one of the hardest workers on the court in NBA history. But I don't think he cares about a championship. So I think this is just as good as a championship for him. You know?
Yeah, I think for him maybe it is, and for me it's not. And I think I don't think I'll go as far as dismissing it. Am I kind of sleeping on it? Yes. One, for multiple reasons. The first one is what you mentioned, Tim, the winning, right? To me, the winning matters to me. Like you have to win. And to me, when I hear people say, well, you'll hear a lot of people right now say, oh, well, it has equated to winning. He's been winning, and they'll give you his stats on he wins 70% of his games when he has a triple double, and he's 150 something and 30 something, and all of that is regular season stuff, right? All of that is regular season stuff. And when it comes to all these other players, nobody can. And for me, I'm gonna give you the same energy and everything. Remember that that's one thing you're gonna know about me is because as a LeBron James fan, I have taken the brunt of a lot of hate and a lot of criticism. I'm giving every player the same energy.
Oh, wait,
when LeBron was doing,
whoa. I don't think people hate on you for loving LeBron. LeBron.
No. I'm saying
it's the Jordan thing that people hate on you about.
No. I'm saying
yeah.
No. Listen, I'm saying as a LeBron fan, you see a lot of hate and criticism come his way, regardless of Jordan. Regardless of Jordan. Before Jordan was even in the conversation, when he didn't have any championships, it was he's great, he's this, he's that, but it doesn't matter because he doesn't have. When he was doing his Russell Westbrook thing, and he had all the individual accolades, nobody gave a shit. Nobody cared. Everybody, every naysayer, all these people had so much stuff to say. Well, he'll never do this. He'll never do this. He's just this. He's just that. Then he started winning championships, and people started comparing him to Jordan. And then the Jordan hate that just created a whole nother round of hate. You know what I'm saying? But this is for me. But let me just be clear real quick. This is not about LeBron. My point was that I'm gonna give everybody that same energy as far as like. All of a sudden, the bar, when LeBron came along, the bar wasn't regular. Nobody cared about regular season anymore. And it was about, well, what do you do in the postseason? How many championships do you have? That's what it's about, right? And so I think I've been swept up in this age of what do you do when it matters? What do you do in big games? Have you won? And so now I see the same people giving Russell Westbrook all these flowers about how, about him having a gazillion and one triple doubles. And then when I look on his resume, I see since the time he's entered the league, I've seen him get to the finals once, seen him get out of the first round once, right? Outside separate, so twice, right? If you include the finals, 2 or 3 times, right? So we see first round exit, second round exit, first round exit, conference final. Like that's all I see, right? So I can't say it equates to winning because to me he hasn't. Not only has he not won a championship, and it hasn't showed up in big games in conference finals and all of that stuff in the playoffs. But it's even on when we see it materialize. Even this. Look at what he's been doing this year. This team started a gazillion games under 500 for the whole first. They are now creeping up to the 10th spot. We were just talking about, me and JT was just talking about them possibly being in the play-in, right? So now you have the all-time triple-double leader, and you might be in the playoffs because you're in the 10th spot. So to me, you got to win, and he hasn't been winning, and these triple-doubles hasn't really been equating to winning. So to me, I just kind of shrug it off. Like it doesn't really, it's not as big as I think a lot of people trying to make it, especially in the era where everybody getting a triple-double. So Sabonis just had a 40, 20 something triple double. You know what I'm saying? Because the pace of the game is much faster. There's more possessions and everything like that. So to me, it's not as big as when Oscar did it.
Well, I mean, I don't know about this. It's not as big as when. It's kind of like I don't think people are going to think of it as that big of a deal. I think if they gave him his accomplishment, it would be like Russell Westbrook dropping 70. It would have been great. Okay, now we move on, and that's it. It's a nice milestone for him. He dropped 70, and that's it. Like that's just kind of what it is.
Yeah, it's interesting. Again, like when I was first making my point, we're in that culture now. Dominique Wilkins, I think he might have made some Eastern Conference Finals, maybe, but Dominique Wilkins never sniffed a championship, except maybe when he played for the Spurs. I don't remember what happened, but that was late in his career. But he's one of the greatest to ever do it. One of those guys that never gets talked about. You know what I mean? Like and Russell Westbrook is like that level basketball player. There's guys like that are incredible, but they get underappreciated and undervalued because they didn't win as much as other guys, which, as we always say, is a team thing.
I think Russell Westbrook will get more love than Dominique Wilkins. Like this dude,
Willie
he's consistently in the playoffs. Like Dominique Wilkins literally is just known for dunking. I know he. No, but that's what I mean.
No, dude, Dominique Wilkins was a ball player. He's not. I mean, I guess kids know him for dunking because they see his highlights on Instagram. That dude was a player, and they were always in the playoffs. They were always in the playoffs. They were always winning. They just weren't good enough to make it to the finals and be a perennial, Eastern Conference Finals team. They played in that era with the Pistons, the Celtics, the Sixers, and then obviously the Bulls. But dude, he was a player. Go watch a game of him. He was incredible.
No, I'm not saying, but that's what you remember him for,
right?
Like Barkley, you remember him for winning an MVP. Like Dominique never won an MVP.
Yeah,
like
and
Russell Westbrook has won an MVP.
And I think to your point, JT, about championships being about teams, I agree. That's something that I say a lot. But I think that almost goes to Russell as a demerit, because when you look at the guys that Russell Westbrook has played with, James Harden, Kevin Durant, Chris Paul. He's played with a lot of really great players, right? All-time great players, and hasn't won.
True,
right? And so now that makes me go, are you the issue?
Right. And that's been a topic of conversation. But the thing with him is, yes, he's played with other good players. I didn't think that him and Houston fit was good at all. But when he did have a legit team, they made it to the finals, and they made it to a Western Conference Finals with the Warriors.
They were one quarter away from the NBA Finals.
And that's when they had, and those guys were really young. But when he had the team, he was right there. When he hasn't had the team, which has been the rest of his career, if we're being honest, he's played with great players, but not great squads. So, I mean,
we'll see. I think Russell will be remembered for this, though. Go ahead.
But they blew a 3-1 lead to the Warriors, bro. It's not like.
I think he's had his chances, and I think we've seen also in big games him be the reason why his team lost big games, because I think sometimes his strength is his weakness. Going 1,000 miles an hour. Kind of my old coach from high school used to say, who Tim knows.
Art Kratchman.
He used to say, shout out to Coach Kratchman. He used to say, son, you on skates. Like you on skates. He used to say, be quick, but don't hurry. And that is Russell Westbrook. He always on skates and he always hurrying. And some people love that about him. And I think that is also the same reason why he has made big mistakes in game, because you can't go 1,000 miles an hour. The great players have finesse to their game. The Jordans, the Kobe's, the LeBron, they all had finesse. They all had gears. They all had, you've seen LeBron in big moments stand at the top of the court and go like this. Calm down, y'all. Like talking to his teammates, right? You've never seen Russell Westbrook do that. You've seen him go 1,000 miles an hour and bring a layup off the backboard because he's going 1,000 miles per hour. And that, to me, you cannot win like that. And I think his play has proven that. Before we get out of here, there's a couple little nuggets that we're gonna hit on real quick. We talked about Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard said that he's merging basketball and music together. He has a new album called Culture Jam, and he's giving the proceeds to the Mamacita Foundation. Now that's a beautiful thing. But what I don't need from Kawhi Leonard is a rap album, which I assume he's rapping and not singing.
Listen. It's either going to be straight booty or straight fire. There's no in between. There's no in between because
I can't see the possibility of it being fire. Like at all.
But because with somebody like him, he's no personality, nothing.
Yeah, like he is plain white
he might come out
bread.
like a cannon, bro. He might come out like a cannon, or you might get some old worse than Macklemore type stuff.
Yeah.
I'm so confused right now because this guy, you can barely get him to say a word, but he's
right.
Rap album? Like, what is happening right now?
I don't know. It makes no sense. But the great songwriter said, we want to be them and they want to be us. And he was right, because the rappers want to be ball players, the ball players want to be
J. Cole is actually about to make that happen for himself.
And J. Cole, right? J. Cole is actually making a transition to, I guess, what you can call professional basketball, where he's going to be playing on Africa's like all world team or whatever.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, that's like a thing, and it's happening. Just don't hurt yourself.
Got game.
He got game. He's got height. J. Cole is like, I saw they were talking about him making this transition on ESPN earlier. They said somebody said he was 6'2". I've stood next to J. Cole. He's not, so he's like 6'4". Like he's got height.
What? Okay, wow.
Yeah. J. Cole is like he's pretty, like when he walks into a room, you think he's a basketball player.
Okay.
I am more confident in his ability to play basketball than I am in Kawhi's ability to rap.
1000%. Georgia,
Me too, actually.
Georgia puts forth a new law, which, they're always making these great laws. Georgia, leave it up to Georgia. That basically states that the state can take 75% of the players, the money that the players make from their name and likeness. So the NCAA allowed players to now make money off their name and likeness. Georgia steps in, does a Georgia thing, and declares that the state can take 75% of that income.
Wait, what?
Yes.
That's a great way to kill all your college sports programs.
1000%. Like,
Dude,
what
are you doing?
What? Like, this is Georgia being Georgia. There's a couple places that I think we should let recede from the United States. One of them is Florida. One of them is Orange County. The other one is Georgia. Let them go and let them go and do what they want to do.
Terrible. Orange County is not.
No. Orange County wants to recede. They want to recede from the United States.
I love Orange County and I love Florida. Georgia, you need to get your shit together badly. That is awful.
That's insane, and that's gonna, and like JT said, that's gonna cause a lot of young athletes to just go to other schools. Go to if they're from there, they're gonna go to out of state schools. Like they're not.
Alabama about to get richer, man.
Yep, that is insane. That's insane. There's no way that's okay.
I don't understand that.
Yeah,
I mean, your state, the Georgia Bulldogs are like as big as a professional sports franchise.
They are bigger than the Falcons.
Like what?
Yeah, they are.
They're bigger than the Falcons. They're bigger than the Braves.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And last but not least, the Tokyo Olympics came out and bans all things Black Lives Matter. You can't wear Black Lives Matter paraphernalia or anything like that. Labeling this under the cloak of being anti-politics. My issue with this is Black Lives Matter isn't politics, right? The same way that the same way that you wouldn't ban somebody wearing a t-shirt that says "Stop Asian Hate," Tokyo, right? Because that's not politics to you, Tokyo. That's human. That's actually making a statement on protecting human life and protecting a certain population from abuse. That's what regardless of what your political affiliation is, how you vote, any of that, right? Black Lives Matter was born out of a people trying to protect their own and making a statement that these lives matter just like everybody else's lives, so let's protect it. So if you wouldn't ban somebody saying "Stop Asian Hate," or you wouldn't ban somebody saying fuck cancer or anything, like, you know what I'm saying, to me, for you to ban Black Lives Matter, you opening yourself up to a whole world of some more BS that's about to come.
I'm surprised that I haven't heard athletes say they're not coming to this. Well, you know what? Actually, I don't. What are they going to do? NBA players like LeBron is not. We know LeBron's not coming. There's a lot of NBA players. Like, let's say, like young guy. Like, let's say if Devin Booker makes it to the NBA Finals, he ain't playing in this. Like,
right.
They
I think a lot of them aren't going to play for many. Most of the reasons will be because of, you see all of these players that's out and injured now because of there's a direct correlation to the short off season that they had, the quick turnaround from the bubble to the season, and now every star on every team. You can't name one team that their star player, especially that are contenders, that their star player did not miss time for. Yeah. I think that's it. So I think a lot of them will skip this because of that, and I think they're going to be more who see something like this and go, fuck the Olympics and fuck Tokyo.
Yeah, I would expect that too.
I haven't seen any athletes come out and say they're not going to go. Like, I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I haven't either, and I think because this story kind of somehow flew under the radar. Like I haven't seen this story talked about on any of the big talk shows. Like we frequent them, and I know you know about them and know some guys that are on them as far as the first takes and the undisputeds and the first things first and all of these big talk shows that come on every day. This has not, maybe I missed it. But I haven't seen this even be a topic on those shows. So I think somehow this flew under the radar. Eventually somebody's going to come out and say something about it, because like I said, you can't, Black Lives Matter is not a political organization. No more than the Cancer Society is. No more than Stop Asian Hate is. No more than the Me Too movement. It's no more. You wouldn't say don't come out and wear a Me Too show, a Time's Up t-shirt, or don't come out and wear a Stop Asian Hate t-shirt, but you'll say that about Black Lives Matter. That's an issue. That's a big issue.
The difference, I'm not certain about Me Too. The difference is that there actually is an organization called Black Lives Matter. And
right.
If that's the case, you can kind of make it political, just like the Black Panthers, because it's an actual organization. But to tell somebody,
but Black Lives Matter is an organization. I said it's not a political organization, because it's not. No one's running for governor. No one's funded. It's not a political organization. That's what I'm saying. It's not.
But I don't see this. Well, I don't have a problem. Listen, I think they should. It's ridiculous that they are banning it, but
yeah,
if we get into the semantics of it, we can muster up,
right.
But the bottom line is, it should be a bigger deal.
And I think it will be. This is going to backfire on them because, like I said, we now in the age where the statues are coming down, right? And that is a figurative speech. And also literally the statues are coming down. And so this is not something that they can just do and expect nothing to happen. I think some players, like I said, will end up coming out and say something about this. Some players will end up protesting this or something like that, but something's going to happen. But this is my issue with a lot of things that happen as far as what society wants you to get behind. Because stuff like this will come out and people will be all behind all of these other different causes and everything like that. And then in order to skate supporting the preservation of Black people, they'll say that's a political thing. I'm not going to get involved with that. You know what I'm saying?
If America was solely the nation of the Olympics, I would be absolutely outraged. Yeah, because it's an international thing. I honestly don't know.
Well, this being Tokyo doesn't surprise me, and I have a lot to say about that I am not going to save for another time. But this being Tokyo does not surprise me, because there's been if you've been adjacent to a lot of the teachings of Asian culture as far as it relates to Black people, Tokyo banning Black Lives Matter will not surprise you. It will not. And so y'all can do your own research on that, because that's a whole thing for a whole nother day. Timothy Parker, thank you so much for joining us today.
Sir. Man, we ended on a serious note, brother.
Yeah, we ended on a serious note, and we had to, because somebody got to tackle this issue. But we'll see Knicks Lakers tonight. We'll see what happens, everything, and how this playoff picture comes back on, and we'll be talking with Tim.
Man, I don't want Lakers Clippers, man.
Yeah, I don't want that. Who wants that in the first round?
Yeah,
you just blow your load in the first round like that?
Yeah.
So, tell the people where they can follow and support anything you got coming up next.
Instagram, Timothy Parker TV. Same thing. Twitter, Timothy Parker TV. You can always check me out on Spectrum News 1 or wherever else I'm on.
Yep. All right. I'm at Joe Connor 33 on everything. Make sure that you like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And then follow us on all the other platforms that you on, whether you on Twitch. We did a live stream and went to Twitch for the first time. Well, it was my Twitch, but we'll work on that. But at Joe Connor on I'm at Joe Connor on there as well. Make sure that you hop on the social media pages, give us a like, show some love. And thank you guys so much for watching and listening. This has been another episode of Backstage Sports Podcast. Until next time, be safe and be great. Peace.
Backstage Sports.